All right. So good morning.
Good morning.
So we don't know each other at all.
No,
We
nope.
via social media.
Yeah,
So thank you for taking part in this project.
sure.
I'm sorry that you're here, but thank
Yeah.
you for being here. Um, so I wanted to start off by asking if you wanted to talk about your journey, when it started, who, the person, anything that you wanted to start with.
It started in April 17th. My husband died in a motorcycle accident, and that's when my journey started, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
It was very sudden, and the accident happened at around 11:15 in the morning, and I didn't get told until 10 o'clock at night.
That's
So he died alone.
cool.
And him dying alone breaks my heart every day still.
Yeah, I
So,
can sympathize with that.
yeah.
Um,
We were separated, and but we were best friends.
right.
He was my person. We talked every day, sometimes 3 or 4 times a day. And we were just best friends. I was his and he was mine.
I'm sorry.
So most people don't understand why I'm so upset, because usually once you have an ex, you have an ex.
Right.
But we stayed very, very much in contact. We loved each other. We just weren't in love with each other.
Right.
So,
Which is very different things. And that's
yes.
I know in our few messages back and forth, you mentioned the word relieved.
People, yes, told me I should be relieved because John wanted to come back into our children's lives. He was out of it for 3 years. He moved to Florida and had some issues that he had to deal with. And I didn't think he was there yet. So he moved back April 1st, and I didn't let him see the kids because of so many outside voices, even though in my heart I thought he should. And then he died.
I have no words. I'm so sorry. The fact that people even thought to say that to you is just heartbreaking, because how
And there's
the,
no answer to that because no one understood our relationship.
and it's not their business.
Just,
It's between you two.
yeah. So the next time I saw John, because we Zoomed a lot and, and FaceTimed. And the next time I saw John in person, he was in a coffin. And he looked different. He was full of tattoos. And so in my heart, all I see is that I still haven't got the picture of John's happy face. Like every time I close my eyes, I just see that coffin.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's been a long journey. It's a lonely one because
Yeah.
I suppose if we were together, people would be more sympathetic or empathetic,
Right.
but they don't get it. And but I find that in most death, people like are there for you in a couple of days, and then after that,
Yeah, they
everyone moves.
their lives.
Yeah.
Um, so you mentioned that you guys had children together. How are the kids dealing with everything?
It's been quite hard because I took it so badly.
Mhm.
They were very, very, very used to being with me all the time. So because John was in Florida and didn't see them, it didn't much change.
Right.
My one son is autistic, so he doesn't really like to be on the phone much. So when John would call, he would just basically watch him play.
Mhm.
Um, my other son just would talk to him about sports and stuff. So my older son took it harder, but I took it the hardest.
Right.
Yeah.
Understandable. Um, Given the situation and how people have reacted to your situation, have there been any positives? Have people said something that were helpful to you, or um, did people step up when you didn't think they were going to step up? How have your relationships changed from this?
Progress. I changed, so
Okay.
every relationship has changed, and I shut a lot of people out because of
Mhm.
those. Because I just knew no one understood how I felt, but and a lot of times I didn't know how I felt.
Right.
So yes, every relationship basically has changed. I still look for him, so maybe I'm not as open with other people. So I don't want to say it's the world's fault. I know it's a
Right.
lot on me, but I never had such a great loss, so I didn't know how I would handle it.
Right. You never do.
You know, my son's birthday is right before John died, and he sent a brand new Xbox for Noah's birthday, and it laid in the garage for months. I couldn't even touch it. I couldn't even look at it. So, and people thought I was strange or being mean that I didn't want John's gift, but it was just too much. It was just too
Yeah.
much.
And
Uh,
I think when it comes to other people, what they think right now shouldn't matter, but that's just like human nature to
yeah,
care about what other people think.
especially when it's people that are like very close to you, like my parents, and
Right.
stuff like that. They were the biggest factors why I didn't let the kids see John.
Okay.
And then when he passed, of course, they were very, very sad. And then it was like kind of like they all forgot what they said about
Right.
John. So I still felt like his best friend, that I still had to defend him.
Actually,
And I would get,
I'm sorry, keep going.
and I had to defend him. And then I kind of got angry at them because, like, you're telling me not to see him, not to talk to him, not to do anything. And now all of a sudden everyone's sad.
Right.
So I really felt very alone. Um, so, but let me think, positives that came out of it.
Like, did anybody say anything that you would share to someone who was in a grieving situation that helped you?
No, to be honest, because it just all sounded like words that were not helpful.
Right.
I really believe I had to come like from in my soul. I talked to John a lot during this.
Right.
And I believe he listened, because then that strength started to come in me to fight for every day, to be happy, to try. But no, I honestly think it's one of those journeys you go through yourself,
Right.
because even the best intentions sometimes don't come out, or it's not what you need to hear.
Right.
But I don't know what I needed to hear, you know. Since he died in such a horrific way, not that dying in any way is better, but I just think about, he was alive when they flew him to the hospital. And his last words were, "Let me die."
Mm.
And so I changed that into a positive of every day saying, "Don't let me die.
Right.
Let me take every ounce of strength I had and keep fighting to be happy again."
I know that takes a lot of strength.
It
I
does.
know, um, when everything happened with my sister and our family, everyone's like, "How are you?" And I said, "Do you want the truth or do you want
Right.
the answer that's gonna not make you uncomfortable?" And I said, we give ourselves credit for waking up every day.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people were taken aback by that because,
Yes,
again, if you haven't been in this situation, you just don't understand.
you don't. And sometimes I didn't understand myself, to be honest, why I would get so down. Um, then I would try to rationalize it. He chose his life. He died in a way doing what he loved most. He loved motorcycles,
Yeah,
things like that. But the hurt is there, the emptiness.
right.
And I don't know how you get over the emptiness. So I guess I'm not very helpful for helping people go through their journey. But
No, but you're being so honest, and I think that's what is lacking. I feel like people sugarcoat things because it makes other people uncomfortable.
yes,
And I think you being so open and so honest about saying, "I don't know how I feel," or things like that, I think is helpful because you don't need to be, um, you don't need to know everything all the time. Sometimes you just don't know. And
just
that's that's what's important.
and they talk about like the 7 steps of grieving, or I don't feel like you go through them that way. Like, I was in complete acceptance that he was gone. You know, it just I don't know. There's days though that are better. You know, I was driving the kids on Christmas Day, and the sun opened up, and a song that John used to sing to me all the time came on the radio.
Oh, you just give me chills.
And and my favorite color is orange, and the sky, just this one part, was orange and beautiful, and the song came on, and I knew we would be okay, and it made Christmas easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
easier. Yeah.
Um, you know, um, so there are signs, and I really believe in that love still comes through.
That was beautiful. I have the chills all over.
So my youngest son, of course I teared, and I told him this was the song Daddy always sang to me, even forever. And I looked up at the sky, and I said, "Merry Christmas, John." And they said, "Merry Christmas, Daddy." And they both held my hand, and I felt them. I felt our family.
That's beautiful.
So I think on your worst days, look for signs, because they're there.
Yeah.
They don't want sad, I know that, but sometimes you can't help it.
And that's just human nature. You're going to be sad. And
Yep.
if anyone tells you they wouldn't want you to be sad and they don't want you to be crying all the time, I think the fact that we have so many emotions connected to the person who passed is like a
Yes.
is shows how much you love that person. And I feel, yeah, they wouldn't want you to be sad, but in a way, it's a beautiful thing, if that makes any sense.
It does. It
Um,
does. Because it's true.
you know, and even people say they wouldn't want you to be sad. That I know they say that to be helpful, but it doesn't feel helpful. It kind of makes me mad if I'm being honest,
Yes. Yeah. Like,
because
oh, I should brush it off and move
yeah,
on.
because they wouldn't want they would want to be here. They wouldn't want to be up there.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So and it's supposed to be comforting, but I wish we could
It's not.
put a list of things to not say to someone who is grieving.
Yes.
Pamphlets,
Yes.
but like this is what you're not supposed to say to somebody.
During John's wait, he had John was pretty popular. And so he had a lot of friends that didn't know my children. And watching their little faces with all these people coming through. And do you not know not one of them have reached out to after?
Yeah.
And they're little kids. John's family, he has brothers who he was very close with. Obviously, they took it extremely hard also that John was gone. But they don't even like call them for Christmas. And I do think,
Did
and
that
this sounds awful.
prior to John's passing, did they reach out to wish Merry Christmas?
Yes.
Oh.
Um, and this sounds awful, but it's my truth.
Let's go
I
for it.
think children trump any kind of pain because they're so little,
Right.
and that we have to be strong for them.
Mhm.
And that sucks sometimes. And sometimes it's really hard to be strong for them.
Yeah.
But so it almost felt like you lost everything,
Right.
and the thing, I think, going back to a list of things not to say to people is don't tell somebody you're going to call them or take them to lunch or do anything and then don't.
Right.
Just let it be. Just say you're sorry and move on.
Right.
Don't give promises.
I completely agree. I've had people say, I'm always here for you. Okay, thank you. But like that means nothing, honestly, to me right now. Unless you make the effort and say, hey, next week I'm picking you up or let's meet at this place for dinner.
Yes.
We're
Yep.
in this um in this part of this journey, you need people the most. And
Yeah.
in my last chat with somebody, I would rather be annoyed by your constant text messages or your phone calls and feel like overwhelmed than wonder why you aren't.
Yes.
I shouldn't have to question why someone isn't reaching out, especially during this time.
Yeah. Another part of John's problem with people with John, when I had his funeral, certain people who should have came didn't.
Right.
And one person who I believe with my whole heart and soul should have been there said, well, I didn't want to be a hypocrite. I didn't like him. And I thought, how selfish. You weren't there for him, then be there for the kids.
Right.
So people always do put their own feelings in front of what you feel. And it's a lonely place, but sometimes being in the loneliest place, you find the true you,
Right.
what you can do and what you will tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a good place to come out of, like being stronger,
Right.
being more self-sufficient.
The person that I spoke with on Monday, so with her experiences, it showed her who she wants in her life. She said, I've cut out
Yes.
friends, I've cut out family. And she goes, and I don't feel bad about it because if you weren't there for me when I needed you the most, then why do I need you right now?
Right. Exactly. And sometimes that makes you feel worse
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, it's not the right thing to do. But at the end, it is, because peace is more important than anything.
Right.
Do you get signs from your sister? Don't mind me asking.
We do. She loved butterflies. And so the day after the burial, we had a weeping willow tree planted on our front yard.
Mhm.
And so we had, people had gifted us plaques and little memorial things that we placed around the tree. And probably late September, early October, November, there was a butterfly that would just always like go around the tree. And I don't remember seeing butterflies to the extent like we've seen them since her passing. So there's just little things.
John to say to one of John's things, he would say, "Oh, you're going to drop a dime on me," and like it was just a silly thing he would say, like when like I would be like, "Oh, I'm telling," like and
Yeah.
stuff, and because we became more like brother and sister,
Right.
then. And everywhere I go, I find dimes,
Oh,
and it's so weird when I find them. I'm like, a dime, like
yeah.
usually people find pennies, but a dime, and then
Oh, that's
I
beautiful. You should put them in little
yeah,
containers as John's
I
dimes.
do, I
Oh,
do. And I've taken to, weirdly enough, opening fortune cookies and reading the fortune. And usually, if I find one that goes to my situation, I'll find a dime right after.
oh, that's beautiful.
So, and then I keep them. So I'll read them, like, so just like those self-care things or little things. And sometimes people think you're crazy when you say there's a sign, there's signs. But
It's because they don't believe, and it's not your job to make them believe.
exactly.
It if it makes you feel better and it gives you comfort, then that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So
Um,
that's another thing I would like to give as advice is find what makes you comfortable and gives you some sort of solace.
yeah,
And don't let anybody tell you different.
right. We I come from a family of 7, so there's a lot of people in our family. Um, Susie was the middle child. I'm the oldest.
Oh
And
boy.
yeah, we have a niece who just turned 3 in October. And I was thankful that she's so young that she wouldn't understand what was going on, but she
Yes.
understands a lot more than we realized.
Yeah.
There was one time back, probably no October, November time. Every day kind of meshes together. So sometime between October and November, and we have some wind chimes on the tree outside. And I brought her outside and I said, "Ava, let's go see the Susie tree."
Right.
And she holds onto one of the wind chime pieces and she closes her eyes and she goes, "I wish, I wish." And I look
Oh,
at her and I just hear her talking, whispering, mumbling, whatever she's doing. And I said, "Ava, what are you doing?" She goes, "Shh, I'm talking." She's holding on
mhm.
for another minute or so. And I said, "Ava, are you done?" She goes, "I'm not done yet." Okay, let her have her time. Another maybe like 15, 20 seconds passes it. She goes, "Okay, I'm done." And I said, "Oh, who are you talking to?" I said, "Oh, give it a kiss." She gives it a kiss. I said, "Who are you talking to?" Then she closed her eyes again and she starts talking more. Then maybe
Oh,
seconds pass and she goes, "I done." And she gives it another kiss. I said, "Who were you talking to?" She goes, "Susie."
I had an uncle. My uncle Tommy killed himself, and Jacob was 3. He was little, and when they went into my uncle's room, he had a Christmas gift for Jacob. And I kept it until Christmas, gave it to him, and just put it under the tree. I didn't have a name on it, like from or anything. I just put it under a tree. It was a truck. And about 6 weeks later, Jacob said to me, "Where's my Uncle Tommy's truck?" And I was like,
I just got chills again.
I was like, how would he even know?
Yeah.
And he called that thing Uncle Tommy's truck until it broke. And it was amazing, and Jake has autism and didn't talk a whole lot.
Right.
So he said, clear as day, where's my Uncle Tommy's truck? Like,
That's beautiful.
yeah, so I really do believe there's, especially with children's sign, and animals.
Yeah.
So.
We've had a lot of, I live in the area where there's a lot of deer, but usually when
Mhm.
they see you, they run away. But we've had 2 instances where they're just on the front lawn, and we come with the car and they just stare at you. They haven't run away, and they're just looking at you. And it happened to my sister maybe like 2 weeks ago. We came out of the car from somewhere, and she's like, Chrissy, come here, come quick. And I just see the deer was sitting right by the tree, by the Susie tree, and just at us,
That's amazing. Oh,
not running away, just staring. And it happened
just being peaceful.
A few weeks after everything happened. He goes outside, just and he just sees a deer walking down the street in the middle of the road, just like walking up to coming up to our house, and the deer just stares at him the whole time they're walking up.
Oh,
In the middle of the road. I've never seen a deer just like traipsing in the middle of the street.
no, me either.
Yeah.
Me either. And I lived in rural Pennsylvania, and I've never seen that. Like where there was herds of deer. Never seen that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, that's my journey, and hopefully it will get better and easier.
But just know you do have a support. If you ever want to talk.
Awesome, you too.
Message. I would love to meet with you in person sometime.
I would love.
I don't think we live that far from each other, so that would be really nice.
That would be great. That would be amazing to have that kind of support and understanding.
Yeah.
We should definitely do that. I'll reach out to you.
Perfect.
Okay.
So wonderful chatting with you. So nice meeting you. I'm so sorry, for you.
Sorry for your loss.
But
so I'll reach out to you because with it being New Year's this week, it's kind of crazy. But I'll reach out to you next week.
Yeah.
Maybe we can meet for coffee or something. That'd be wonderful. Okay. Bye.
Bye.